Hello and welcome to today's video. So today is finally my foundation declutter, and you can see I had to put them all in a box because I have so many. So my count right now is that I have 126. I think that's where I ended up, which is ridiculous. Now these are all liquid foundations. I did do a powder declutter and I included any powder foundations in that declutter. So if you're looking for those, you can kind of go. This is also going to serve as a quick kind of a speed review too. I am really, not only do I need to be ruthless, I really need to get this down because I have planned on I did a kind of full coverage foundation video for mature skin, a ranking video, and I had planned on doing one for medium coverage and light coverage and skin tints. And every time, you know, a new foundation comes out, and I just honestly don't have the time. I do have a full-time job. I am a mom, I am a wife. So it's one of those things that I just haven't had a chance to do. And at this point, I really need to get my my collection down to a reasonable amount. So I'm going to be very ruthless. So there might be foundations that I did do a review on and I say I like it, but then I declutter it. It's not because I don't like it. It's just because it's one that I probably don't reach for. So maybe I'm decluttering a full coverage matte finish foundation. Well, my favorite is the Airbrush Flawless Filter from Charlotte Tilbury. That is what I'm going to keep for. That is when I'm looking for a matte finish full coverage. That is one I always reach for. So, you know, I'm probably not going to keep a lot in that, you know, genre. So anyway, I'm going to go through this. It's 126, like I said. I am going to go in alphabetical order by brand. So I'm going to start with the A's and I'm going to end with the Y's. So I'm going to, that way, if you are looking for a particular maybe speed review, you don't want to watch this whole video. I expect it to be very long. If you don't want to watch that, then go ahead and just look down in the description box. There will be timestamps by the brand. So example, if you're looking for, you know, Armani or Dior, just go down to them. You know, I'll include anything. So if a brand has several different, like Uoma Beauty had Uoma Beauty by Sharon C, and then Uoma Beauty, that will all be under Uoma Beauty. So let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so we're gonna start with the letter A, and we're gonna start with this foundation from About Face. This is the Performer Skin Focused Foundation. I picked this up at the recent Ulta 21 Days of Beauty sale. This is in the shade, let's see, L2 Neutral, I think. I don't like it at all. People were saying how good it is. Now, I think I got a shade that was, it's actually not too bad as far as, but it's actually not too bad for me. It's a little light for me, but the worst thing is it makes my skin, it just looks very dry on my skin. So I am going to declutter it. Fortunately for me, it's normally $22. It was only $11, but I don't recommend it. I know a lot of people said they liked it, but for someone with like my skin is, you know, combination, it felt very, very drying and looked very drying. So I think maybe if you have oily skin, you might like it, but for me, I didn't like it at all. Okay, next up we have two from Armani Beauty. This is the Luminous Silk Foundation and then the Power Fabric. These are both in the shade 5. So you can see I've used quite a bit of both. The Luminous Silk I really like. This is one that I know a lot of people really love, and I do really like it. It's not my favorite. They're both very expensive. I tend to mix them together. The Power Fabric I think is a little too thick, and this one is a little too sheer for me. So I do mix them together. So I am going to keep them. I do still wear them, and there's not a lot left in each. I've actually used quite a bit. I would not repurchase either of these. There's better foundations that are cheaper that I like more, but I do think these are beautiful foundations. I have a makeup artist that this is the Armani Luminous Silk is pretty much what he uses on all his clients. If their skin is like a certain, you know, pretty much he says it's universal, but this is what he uses on everybody. He's the one that sold me on it, and I like it. I like it, but I like how my skin looks, you know, with different foundations. So I'm going to keep both for now, but I would not repurchase these just because there's better things out there that's more affordable. Okay, next up I have this one from Basma Beauty. I'm in the shade 29, which is a very, very good match. They actually matched me, and I was gifted. I just don't like it. It's not bad. It's just it didn't wear well on me. I don't know. There was something about it that I just didn't like. It it made me oily. It didn't give me the coverage. It didn't give me the look that I wanted or the longevity. I'm not a big stick foundation person either, so that could be it. But I am going to declutter the Basma. Okay, moving on, we have this one from Beauty Blender. This is the Beauty Blender Bounce Foundation. It is the Liquid Whip Long Wear Foundation. This is in the shade 2.5 neutral medium nude. I actually really like this foundation. This used to be in a different packaging. I know there was controversy if whether or not it was the same foundation. I contacted Beauty Blender. They said it was the same foundation. I felt that it was the same foundation. Other people said that it was different. I looked at the ingredients for both. The ingredient list was exactly the same. I really like it, but I'm pretty sure it's being discontinued. It's still on the Sephora website, but it's on like deep discount and very few shades are available. So because of that, I like it, but I still reach for other things more and I need to be ruthless. And since it's probably being decluttered, I am going to go ahead and declutter it. But I like this one. I'm kind of, you know, sad that other people didn't. Okay, now we're moving on to Bobbi Brown. So we have these two. This one is the brand new one. This is the new Weightless Skin Foundation. This is the old Skin Long Wear Weightless Foundation. This was full coverage. This is medium coverage. I did a side-by-side of these. They're very similar. I did get the correct shade. So this is the shade 42 Beige, Neutral 42 Beige. This one was Warm Beige. So this is definitely a better match for me. I really like this foundation. I really liked this one too. This one is a little bit, like I said, a little bit less coverage, but I do really like it. It's brand new. I am going to keep it. I am going to decolor this one mainly because it's just, it's been discontinued. So really, unless there is one that's discontinued that I am going to keep, but for the most part, anything discontinued, I'm probably going to declutter. So I am going to declutter this one, keep the brand new one. And then I have this Skin Long Wear Fluid Powder Foundation. So it's a liquid to powder formula. This is the wrong shade that I have. So it's a cool beige. I don't have a cool undertone. So this is just the wrong shade for me. So I am going to declutter it. It's a good foundation, but it's the wrong shade, but it's also something I wouldn't reach for either. Okay, moving on, we've got our first like true skin tint. This is from Caliray, and this is the Skin Wellness Diffusing Tint. It's actually, I have the shade 3, which is a good shade for me. I just am not a big skin tint person, and if I am going to wear a skin tint, I usually wear one with an SPF. So as much as I did like this, I just don't wear skin tints very often, and that way I'm going to declutter this one because let's give it to someone that's going to use it. Okay, next up we have Charlotte Tilbury, and I have 4, 2 of the same one. So, okay, so this is my all-time favorite foundation. So this is my all-time favorite foundation, is the Airbrush Flawless Filter. This is the shade 5 Cool. This is actually the wrong shade for me, but I still made it work. I had some neutralizing, like, additive. You can see it's pretty much gone. So this I am going to declutter, but I used it anyway because I love this foundation so much. I mean, this one worked. This is the shade I wear. This is 5.5 neutral. It's a little dark for me, but usually when I'm wearing this foundation, I have a spray tan. So I can make it a little lighter if I want to with mixing it with something that's a little bit lighter, but I usually don't because, like I said, when I'm wearing this, it's usually because I have a spray tan and I want to match my my face to my body. So this is my favorite foundation. I will say the new one from One Size is giving it a run for its money, but this will be something that's always in my collection. So the Airbrush Flawless Foundation. So keeping this one. Next up is this one, the Beautiful Skin. So this is the Beautiful Skin Foundation. This was like a medium coverage. I have the shade 4 Neutral. Really great shade match for me. I did not think I was going to like this. I actually didn't get it when it launched, and I actually really like it. It's not my favorite just because it's not my favorite type of finish, but I do really like it. It is, and I've used quite a bit of it. I wear it a lot on camera because I do think it looks beautiful on camera, but it's not one that I'm going to like wear to last, but it, on camera it looks good, especially with a nice, primer and setting spray. It looks really, really good. I really like it. It does give you a beautiful skin, so I do really like this, so I am going to keep this. And then the last one is the brand new one. Let me find it. It is the Unreal Sheer Glow Tint. It is the Hydrating Foundation Stick. This is controversial. I know a lot of people don't like this. Now, I am going to keep it. And it's not that I love it. It's kind of like a, you know, kind of a little shiny. It doesn't really emphasize my texture. I just don't like a dewy finish like this, and that's with the lighting. You can see it kind of really looks, it really shines, but I don't hate it either. And I'm trying to figure out a way, because it's really easy to use. I like the way it looks. You know, I can use this on the go. It's really easy. So I like that about it. So I like it. I am going to keep it. Plus I love Charlotte Tilbury. I love Charlotte Tilbury. I do have a promo code. It's in a link below. All my promo codes will be linked below, but it's a great, it's a good glow tint. And if you like a radiant finish, then you might really like this. But I know this is one that people either love or hate, and I'm in the like category. Okay, next up we're talking about the Ciele Cosmetics. This is the Tint and Protect. This is a tinted serum, and this I have the shade 4 Light Medium. This is what I was talking about as far as having a skin tint with an SPF. This is something I wear when I go on vacation. I wear this. I brought this on our week-long vacation when we went on the Icon of the Seas. This is what I wore during the day. It just gives enough coverage with also giving a really good, now I do put other sunscreen on, but I love it. I actually really like a lot of things from Ciele. I love their new concealer. It is amazing. So absolutely keeping this skin tint from Ciele. Okay, next we have this one from Cle de Peau. I don't know what this is. This is, I can't really read it. It is the Radiant Cream to Powder Foundation. I have the shade 010 or O, I think it's 010. It was like ochre. I like this. I didn't love it. I used a good amount of it, but I think it's been discontinued, so I am going to go ahead and declutter this. I think the shade was a little light for me, but I am going to go ahead and declutter it. Okay, next we have Clinique. This is the Even Better Clinical Serum Foundation Broad Spectrum SPF 25. I actually really like this foundation. And I was trying to looking at it, I'm like, okay, I need to start decluttering, but I wear this. There's probably about half. This is probably about half full at least. And I really like this foundation. It's a good match. I have the shade CN40, which is Cream Chameau. I really like this foundation. It's really good. It's kind of like a medium coverage. I like the added sunscreen, but I think this is really good for mature skin. So keeping this one. Okay, and now we have some from Cover FX. So first up, the Power Play Foundation. I don't even know. I use this quite a bit. I think 35 and 40. 35 was my normal shade. 40 was when I was spray tanned. I really liked this foundation. It looks small, but it's actually got more of product than usual, because usually they're 30 milliliters and this one is 35. It's just that the bottles are small, which I did like. I didn't really like the applicator because it was these drops and it didn't really get out easily. But you know, you put it in a little palette, it worked great. I think it's been discontinued. I haven't reached for it, so I'm going to declutter these. I think I think this foundation's been discontinued anyway. So, but I really liked it, and you know, that's a shame. And then I also have these two. These are like custom cover drops from Cover FX. I couldn't find if these are still available. One is definitely older than the other because they're two different shades. This one's N5, this one's N3. But these were good too. Like if you had a foundation that was too light, you could add this and make it a little bit darker. But I've gotten better at picking foundations for myself, so I don't use these. So I'm pretty sure these are expired, so I'm going to trash both of these, but definitely decluttering. So I'm decluttering all my Cover FX. Okay, next up we have this BB cream from CoverGirl. This is the Clean Matte BB cream for oily skin. I don't remember why I got this. It's actually pretty nice. I think I was probably trying to do a drugstore video and then just never got around to doing it. It's actually a pretty nice BB cream, but I never reached for it. This is the shade 530 Light Medium. It's a good one, but it's pretty new, so I'm going to go ahead and declutter it and give it to someone that can use it. Okay, next up we have Danessa Myricks. So Danessa Myricks, this is, so we have the Yummy Skin Foundation. I have two shades. And then the Yummy Skin Tint, and then this Vision Cover. So this Vision Cream Cover, I don't think I've used either. I think they're pretty new. Yeah, you can tell that hasn't been used. And let's try the other one. Let's see the other one. Yeah, it hasn't been used. I don't even know when I got these. I know I bought these. I think I bought all of these. So I didn't receive any of these in PR. Again, I think I was trying to do a video and then I just never got around to doing it. So I am going to declutter these two. And then the Yummy Skin Foundation, the Serum Foundation. I remember liking this, not loving it, but I'm not ready to declutter it yet because I'm not sure if I want to or not. I have the shades 7N and 8P. 8P is definitely the wrong shade. I think it's like pink, so it's like a cool tone, so 8P is definitely not for me. The 7N is probably my shade. You know what, I'm gonna declutter it. I'm gonna declutter both because I don't reach for them. So I don't reach for them. And I like Danessa Myricks, but I'm not going to keep it just because I like the brand. So I am going to declutter these two. The skin tint, however, I love. The skin tint I love. I think it's fantastic. It's really good. I'm not a big skin tint person. I determined I'm going to keep probably like 5 skin tints. And this is one that has a really nice coverage. It doesn't have SPF, so it's not something I would wear on vacation, but I do like the way it looks. So I am going to keep this one. So this is the only thing I'm keeping from Danessa Myricks. I'm going to declutter the other 4. And now we have this one from Dermablend. This is the Flawless Creator. It is liquid foundation drops. So it's not like the custom drops from Cover FX. These are actually foundation drops. It's a neat product. Very unique, very thin, really great coverage. I just don't reach for it. You can see like it's very lightweight, gives good coverage. I just can't get into it for some reason. But again, a really great product. I don't know why. I think maybe it's just because I like the traditional products. But for this, I've only used a little bit. It's fairly new, so I am going to go ahead and declutter this one. Okay, and now we're moving on to a Dior, and I have 7 from Dior, and here are the 3 that I told you were discontinued. Then I mentioned that I am going to be keeping. These are 2 I'm keeping. This is the 2N, 3N, and this is the shade 304. They changed the shades at one point. I don't wear these like solely as foundation, but I do wear them like as a kind of like a setting. So I put it on top. And then I take a brush and it really just sets the foundation and gives me an airbrush look. It's just amazing. So I love these. Really is waterproof, fantastic. So I have this one right here. I am in the search for a replacement, hopefully something that will be able to replace it. But right now I am keeping all 3, even though it's discontinued, because they are amazing. The other foundations that I have from them, so let's look at the Dior Backstage. So this is the Dior Backstage Face and Body. This is the reformulated one. I have 2 shades. I have 2.5N and 2.5W. 2.5N is the shade that I'm going to keep. The W, even though I am more leaning, the W is a little darker for me. This one is also a little too dark. I probably need every day, I need a 2.0N, but I usually wear this when this is kind of like a skin tint. This is something that I wear when I have a spray tan. So I really like this. And I have a whole video on the reformulated one. So I am going to keep the 2.5N and then declutter the 2.5W. And then I have this Forever Natural Nude. This is a fairly new, or I don't know if it's new, but newly reformulated or new, but I have 2 shades. So I have 2N and 3N. The 3N is definitely too dark for me. Definitely too dark for me. So I'm going to declutter that one. I think the 2N might be a little too light, but I want to try it a little bit more. So I am going to keep that one for now. So I'm going to keep one, the 2N, and then I'm going to declutter the 3N. Next up, we have this from e.l.f. This is the e.l.f. CC cream, or Camo CC cream. It's SPF 30. I have this shade Light 240W. It's actually a good shade match for me. I think I've worn this once or twice. This is like supposed to be the dupe for the It Cosmetics, which I think it is. It is a really good full coverage natural finish. I just never reach for it, so I'm going to go ahead and declutter it. I mean, this thing is barely used, so I'm going to declutter this one. Okay, next up is Estee Lauder. So I have 3 from Estee Lauder. Okay, so let's talk about the Double Wear. This is the Double Wear 2N1 is my shade. I really like this. Unfortunately, this pump broke, which really sucks because the pumps you have to pay extra for, and this pump doesn't work anymore. I've tried to do everything for it, so I have to use it by taking it out, which is fine, but I paid extra. I paid $10 extra for the pump. But this is kind of like the tried and true, and anytime there is a long wear full coverage foundation, everybody wants to know how it compares to the Estee Lauder Double Wear. I think this is like the tried and true. I don't really wear it as much because when I'm looking for that type of foundation, I am wearing the Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless Filter. I much prefer that over this, but I do from time to time wear this. So I think it's a really good foundation, and it's kind of one of the OGs, and I do recommend it. Just if you I recommend it if you go to the cosmetic company store, you can usually get it at 40% off. Then I'm gonna look at the Futurist Hydra Rescue. This is very, very similar to, I remember it being compared to like a Tom Ford, but it's also very similar to the Beautiful Skin from Charlotte Tilbury. But when I'm looking for this type of foundation, I reach for the Charlotte Tilbury one. So I'm going to declutter this one, but I used it quite a bit. And then this is the Futurist Skin Tint Serum. This is actually really, really nice. It's a really nice skin tint, but again, and it does have an SPF. I just never reach for it. I did a whole video on it. I was really pleasantly surprised. It has really good longevity. I really like it. I just never reach for it. So I am going to declutter it because I can give it a better home, someone that's going to use it. But I do recommend it. If this is, especially for more mature skin, I think this is a really, really good skin tint. Okay, next up we have 2 from Fenty Beauty. So this is the Soft Lit, I forgot what it's called and I can't read it, but it's like the Soft Lit. This is like a radiant finish, medium coverage, absolutely amazing. I absolutely loved it. It wears beautifully. I remember even my husband commenting on my skin the day days that I wear this, but the first time when I was testing it, he's like, wow, I really like that foundation. So I am definitely keeping it. I don't reach for it as often, but I'm hoping with a smaller collection, I will reach for it. So I'm keeping this one. And then we have the skin tint. This is the Ease Drop Blurring Skin Tint. I have the shade 7. I loved this when this first came out. I wore it all the time like this, but at the time also I didn't have that many skin tints. Now I have more skin tints, and not that I don't like it. I think it's gorgeous. I just don't reach for it. So I am going to declutter it because I just don't reach for it. And I'm trying to get down to at least 5 skin tints, like just 5 skin tints, because I know there's more coming out, and it's just becoming hard to bear, and I just don't, it's just not a formula that I use a lot. So I am going to declutter this one. Okay, moving on, we have this one from Givenchy. This is the Prisme Libre Self-Caring Glow Foundation. This is in the shade, let's see, I can't even find it. I think it's C240, I'm not sure. I really like this foundation, but there's other foundations that I like that are glowing that I reach for more. So I am going to declutter it. It's still good, so there's still quite a bit left. So I am going to declutter this one. And then we have this one from Glossier. Glossier, this is the Stretch Fluid Foundation. I have the shade Medium 1. I don't think I've ever used this. Yep, you can tell I haven't used this. I got it in PR and I meant to do a video on it, and I got it after a lot of other people. So when I get things late, there's not an urgency to do it because my videos tend to get lost, and this was just a foundation I don't know, I just wasn't excited about. I wasn't really interested in. I don't know if it's good or not, but since it's unused, I am going to go ahead and declutter it because I have enough right now, and I want to use what I have. So since it's unused, I can donate it. And then we have this one from Guerlain. This is the Cle de Peau Natural Perfection Foundation. I really like this. This was in the shade 3N. I believe this was discontinued. So I haven't reached for it in a while. I actually forgot about it. It was at the bottom of my drawer. I remember really, really liking this, but I'm pretty sure it's been discontinued and I just haven't reached for it, so I am going to declutter it. Okay, and now we have Hourglass. So we're going to talk about the Ambient Soft Glow Foundation. I really like this. I have the shade 6.5. I don't wear it as often. I do like it. It's not my favorite, but I do like it, and I think with a smaller foundation collection, I will hopefully reach for it. Maybe I'll change my mind at that point, but I do like it, so I am going to keep it for now at least. And then we have, I have 3 shades of the Hourglass Veil. So I have shades 5, 7, and 9. And I remember 7 being the one that was the one that suited me. So I thought, oh, what I can do is I can mix 5 and 9 together. But with all the skin tints I have, I'm just going to declutter 5 and 9. I love this skin tint. This is one of my favorite skin tints. It's a hydrating skin tint. It's not very radiant. It's not very dewy, but it's not matte either. Just gives the most gorgeous finish. I absolutely love it. So I'm going to keep shade 7, gift these away, and it's just gorgeous though. So it doesn't have an SPF and it's a skin tint, and I still love it, so that says a lot. Okay, moving on now to Huda Beauty. So this was the Faux Filter Luminous Matte Foundation. I had the shade Shortbread, which is way too light. It is just a way too light, and then I also just didn't like it. It was just very thick. You can tell I haven't used this in a while, so I don't even think the pump works, but and it's broken up. You can see there, I don't know if you can see it on camera, but it's kind of broken up. So I am going to go ahead and declutter this. To me, it was just not, I like full coverage, but this one was just way too thick. Then we have the Huda Beauty Easy Blur. The Huda Beauty Easy Blur Natural Airbrush Foundation. I love this. I absolutely love this. It is just great. I have 2 shades. So I have the shades Macaroon 230N and then Toasted Coconut 240N. I am going to declutter to Toasted Coconut 240N. I believe I sampled it. I think it's just a little too dark for me. And yeah, it didn't suit my skin tone. This one, the Macaroon was definitely a great match for me, and I thought it looked great. It's just a gorgeous foundation though. It does oxidize a little bit. I could probably use this one when I have a spray tan, but when I have a spray tan, I usually go for, you know, something more full coverage. So, but this is, I absolutely love this foundation. So I'm going to keep the shade Macaroon 230N and then declutter the Toasted Coconut. Okay, next we have one from Ilia Beauty. It is a foundation stick, and it is the Skin Rewind Complexion Stick. I have the shade 16N Maroon. I don't think I've ever used it, and I haven't, because you can see at the top, it still says Ilia, so it still has the, I think I may have swatched it, but I'm not even sure if I did. But yeah, I've never used it, so I am going to declutter it. I don't have the time to do videos on these foundations. I just need to kind of get decluttered and then maybe start from scratch. And this has been out for a while, so I am going to declutter it, and hopefully I'll be able to donate it, because I don't think I've used it. Okay, now we're moving on to It Cosmetics. So I have 3 from It Cosmetics. I'm pretty sure I'm going to declutter all of them. Okay, so first up, let's start with the 2 CC creams. These are all full coverage. So they're CC creams. This is the Bye foundation, but they're all pretty full coverage. So these have all, you can tell they have, because they have sunscreen, they are all expired. So this is like expired in 10/20. So that this one's going in the trash. This one expired 5/21, and then this one expired 12/22. So yeah, I'm going to declutter all 3 of these. But yeah, this is a really good, now the matte is, honestly, I just need the regular one. I don't need the oil-free matte, and I don't need the illumination. I had the original and I used that one, and I wanted to try it out and see these. I thought maybe I would really like the matte, since I like a matte. It was just too drying for me. I don't have oily skin. If you have oily skin, you would probably like this. And then I just don't like the illumination. So really like these, are really, really good, but I just never used these. The one I used up was the one that was the regular that I really, really liked. So I am going to declutter all 3 of these. Okay, moving on, we have this one. It's a tinted serum from Jane Iredale. I thought I could use this with the powder, and then I just never got around to using it. This is light to medium 3. I don't think I've ever used it. Yes, you can tell I've never used it. So I am going to declutter this. I really like the powder foundation, and I did keep that. But I just, I never got around to using this. They have a foundation, and it's just not something, I don't know. again, it was one of those things I wanted to do a whole video on Jane Iredale. I just haven't gotten around to doing it, and I need to be realistic with myself. So I am going to declutter. Okay, next up we have two from Jerome Alexander. So this is the Magic Minerals Airbrush Foundation. I have the shades Light, Medium, and Medium. So I am going to keep both of these because I'm hoping that between this, that's the Light Medium, and I'm hoping that these will be a good alternative to the Dior Air Flash since it is no longer. And the shades I think are really good. I also have another one which I'm going to review too. So I am planning to do a video on these. I've tried these and so far I do like them. This one is like a spray on mineral makeup. So it's like an airbrush, but it's also a mineral makeup. So I am going to keep both of these. And then hopefully I will be doing a video on, alternatives to Dior Air Flash because I have this and another brand that I'll be talking about later. Okay, next up I have this Joah Perfecting BB Cream. I really like Joah Beauty and I really like this, but I just don't reach for it. Joah Beauty is a great drugstore, affordable brand. This shade is a little bit dark for me, but I can make it work because it is a BB cream. It's really nice and I'm tempted to keep it, but I gotta be realistic. That's a beautiful, I gotta be realistic because I have so many skin tints. I am going to declutter it because I just know myself I'm not going to reach for it, even though that is a really beautiful coverage. But yeah, I'm going to declutter this one from Joah Beauty. Okay, and here's another one you don't hear about is Keys Soulcare. So Keys Soulcare, this is the Alicia Keys brand. This is the It's Like Skin 2-in-1 concealer and skin tint. I'm not a big fan of skin tints or concealer and foundations. This one was actually really nice. It looked really good on, but again, I just don't reach for it. It's beautiful. If you like skin tints, I think this is a really good one, and a lot of times it has a really good sale. I believe this is available at Sephora. This is the shade 230N. But again, I'm trying to keep only 5 skin tints, so Keys is not gonna make it. Okay, and next up we have KVD Beauty. So KVD Beauty, we have the Good Apple foundation. This was the Good Apple Perfecting Balm. This was Light 18. Which you can see I used a big chunk of this. I hit pan, I used a big chunk of this. I haven't picked it up in a while though. I actually like the way this looks on camera. My shade is a little too light, but I can make it work. It really does blur out everything. Gives an amazing coverage, but for me, it doesn't last. I loved it on camera because it gave me this airbrush look, but then, within 2 hours, I was a shiny mess. So I am going to declutter this. I think at this point I can just trash it. It's been a while, and given that this is that type of foundation, I used a good chunk of it. I got my money's worth, and I think it's just at this point, it's probably expired. So I'm gonna go ahead and throw that one away, declutter this. And then this is the Good Apple foundation. This I really like. Now this is the shade Medium 33. This was a better shade match for me. I actually got like 30 at first, and it was too, let's see. Okay, so the pump is broken. There goes that. This one is a maybe. I don't know. I really liked it. It's been sitting at the bottom of my drawer. I'm unsure about this one. This one I'm going to put in a maybe pile because I'm just not sure. I think I'm going to declutter it depending on what I have, but I'm going to reserve. Plus, if the pump's broken, then I'm just going to trash it. But we'll see. I'm going to pull this one to the end. Okay, moving on, we have Lancome, the Tinty Doll Ultra Wear. I really like this. This is shade 235N. This is not my best shade match, but I can definitely make this one work. I think this one is a little light for me, but I am going to keep it. I can make this one work. I love it. It is great. I have it written down. I think it's like the shade that works for me is like 310 or something, but I love this foundation. I know a lot of people loved it, the original version, and they don't like the new one. I like the old one, but this one I think is just so much better. So this is definitely a keeper for me. Okay, next up I have this tinted moisturizer from Mercier. This is the shade 2N1 Nude. I liked it, but I haven't used it in a while. And it's just, again, this is one of those things that, and this isn't cheap. It's good. It's a really nice, but I don't know. I just never reached for it. And I am, because of that, again, this is kind of like in that skin tint category. So I am going to declutter this one. Okay, now we have some from L'Oreal. So I have two from L'Oreal. This is the Infallible Foundation. This is Fresh Wear. I think this is the shade 445. I bought this so that I was doing a, like, kind of doing, like, trying to compare foundations of what I would wear to Disney. And I wanted to do a drugstore version. I don't know. It's not my favorite. So I am going to declutter this one. And then I do have the True Match. So this is True Match. This is the shade N3 Neutral Light Medium. Now this is more of like a medium coverage, but this is really nice. For a drugstore foundation, this is a really nice foundation. I think it's just gorgeous. I really like it. So I definitely want to keep one from the drugstore, and this is definitely one. It says super blendable foundation, and it totally is. Okay, and now we're talking about the other airbrush foundation. So this is from the brand Luminess. They do airbrush foundations, but they also have this airbrush spray. It is I have two shades. So I have light medium and medium, just like I did with the other one. And this one I really like. I really like these. I really want to do a wear test and really kind of a comparing it with the Dior Air Flash, but these are really, really nice. I don't think I showed that one enough, but really great foundations. They do give you an airbrush finish. So really, it says satin buildable finish. Yes, absolutely. So absolutely keeping these. I think this is going to replace my Dior Air Flash. Okay, now we're getting to LYS. LYS I love. I think they have really great products. I actually decluttered their powders because their powders aren't my favorite. However, their foundations are. This is the Triple Fix Serum Foundation. It's fabulous. I am in the shade MN3. It is just a really great foundation. I really like it. It is, I've worn it, when I got these sticks recently, I started doing them. I started wearing it again. I've been wearing it in a couple recent videos, so really like it. So I am going to keep the Triple Fix Serum Foundation. And then they have this new skin, these are the stick foundations. So this is very similar. Really good. They almost look identical. When I put them side by side, they look really close. So this is the shade MN3. I'm not a big fan of stick foundations. However, I am going to keep one of these. This is MN3, which is the same shade as this. And then I also received MN5. This one was broken when I received it, so I am going to declutter this. It's actually not used, but you can see the part of it melted at the top. So it's a little messy, but it's actually a full product. So it's also just not the shade for me. It's too dark. So I am going to declutter this one and give this to someone. Okay, next up we have from MAC Studio. This is the Face and Body Foundation. This is the original one. I believe this one has been discontinued. This is the shade N3. This is really nice. This is like the Dior Backstage, but this was the one that discontinued. I think that they changed it to like a sheer, and I know a lot of people don't like it. So, but since this is discontinued, I am going to go ahead and declutter this. Okay, moving on, we have Makeup Forever. So Makeup Forever, I love these foundations. So I have this matte velvet skin. This one is, I'm almost gone. So I am going to declutter it. I haven't used it in a while. I was using it a lot for a while, but I really haven't, and I think it's almost used up. So I am going to go ahead and declutter this one. And then I have the two HD skins. These are fairly new. They're both in the shade 1N14, which is equivalent to the Y245. This is the long wear foundation. This is the regular one. They're both medium coverage, and then this is the Hydra Glow. I actually like both, but this one is more glowy, and I just don't reach for it. So I am going to declutter it. It's fairly new, but if I'm going for a glow, I'm going to use that one from Fenty. I don't reach for this one. So I am going to go ahead and declutter it. It's not because I don't like it. It's just because I really need to be I really need to be aware of what I'm using and not let things go to waste. So, but I do love both of them, but I like the original HG Skin more. Okay, then I have two from Maybelline. I don't even know why. Again, I think that these were, I was trying to do a video. I have two shades, and I have the shades Natural Ivory, which I can tell you right now is too light for me, and then 125 Nude Beige. So I think Nude Beige is the shade that worked for me. This is actually a really good drugstore foundation that's long wear. I think this one is so much better than the Infallible. It's a little thick, but if you use a damp sponge, it shears out really nicely and goes on really nicely. And man, this stuff lasts. So I'm going to keep the Nude Beige. This one is too light, so I am going to declutter it. But if you're looking for a good full coverage foundation from the drugstore that's gonna last you, this is a good one. Okay, next we have Merit Beauty. So I have two shades. Let's see, I have the shades Dune and Bisque. So they're both really nice. They all came apart from the base. I use this and I really liked them when I first used them, but I just haven't used them since, to be honest. And the Bisque is definitely a better shade for me. I'm going to declutter these. They're just not for me. I think they're really pretty. They're really good on the go, but I already kept some other stick foundations, so I am going to declutter these. Then I have this foundation called Miccilo. It is from Sweden. I don't remember how I found this one, but I found it. It's a Swedish brand, and it's a full coverage foundation. I absolutely hate it. I absolutely hate it. It's awful. It's just too thick. It's just awful. So I am decluttering this one. And every time, it wasn't cheap, but I was kind of sold on it for some reason, and it's way too, and for someone who likes full coverage, and this one's full coverage, this was too much full coverage for me. And then finally we have the Milani Glow. This is a hydrating skin tint. This is the shade 210 Light to Medium. This is a really nice skin tint from the drugstore. Again, I just don't wear skin tints. I don't know why I got this. I think it was one of those like YouTube made me buy it type thing, and I think I needed to mix it up. I needed to shake it a little bit more, but it's nice. It's a really nice, skin tint from the drugstore. And if you're looking for one, it's good, but for me, I just don't use it, so I'm going to declutter it. Okay, next up we have one from Milk Makeup. This is the Sunshine Skin Tint. I have the shade Sand. This was okay. I hate the applicator, and I think the applicator really kind of made me not like it as much, but yeah, I'm gonna go ahead. It's pretty full, it's pretty new. It wasn't for me, going to declutter. Next up we have NARS. This is the Light Reflecting Foundation. I have the shade Patagonia. I really like this foundation, and it's one that I've been wanting to use more, but because it's been at the bottom of my drawer, and I just really haven't used it as much, but I remember really liking it. So now that I'm getting a reasonable collection down, I am going to keep this one, and hopefully we'll use it more. Okay, now we have this one from Nude Sticks. Nude Sticks Daily Mineral Veil. I have the shade, it's the tint Nude. This is, it's really nice, except this shade is actually a lot darker than you think, but it does sheer out. So it almost looks really dark. It almost looks like a bronzer when you do it. And this is not one of the one of the darker shades. It's actually one of the lighter shades, but you just shear it out, and it actually looks really nice. It gives just a very light tint, but it is an SPF. So I do like that it has, because it's a mineral sunscreen and it's gonna get rid of that white cast, but really nice. It's a really good daily, sunscreen, and gives you a little bit of coverage. So yeah, definitely keeping this one from Nude Sticks. Okay, next up we have two from One Size. Okay, so let's talk about the Turn Up the Base BBB Cream, the Beauty Blur Balm Cream. I had the shade Medium 2, which is the wrong shade for me. I needed the shade Medium 1, or maybe even one of the light shades. I use this a lot. This is like a cool tone, which is, I'm also not cool tone, but this was what the brand sent me. I loved how this looked. I think I was the only one. Yeah, you can see it's definitely too dark for me, but I was wearing this on vacation. I loved this, absolutely loved it. I wore it a lot. You can see that this is pretty, I used a lot of this. But you know, as I didn't have a spray tan, it just wasn't, I needed to get a new color and I never did. I think it's being discontinued. It's been on sale for 50% off for a long time, and many of the lighter shades, like if I wanted to get the shade, my correct shade, I couldn't get it right now, but it's not available. So I think this is being discontinued. So I am going to declutter this one. I'm sad I never got my correct shade because it really was great. However, they just came out with this one, which is the Turn Up the Base Full Beat Liquid Foundation. This is amazing. I just did a video on it. I love it. This might replace my Charlotte Tilbury as my favorite. I have been wearing it a lot. It's so beautiful. It looks so good. I got the correct shade. So this is light 35N, I think. It's so good. I absolutely love it. And I just think it's such a good foundation. So I'm sad about the other one, but this is so good. If you haven't picked this up, get it. Get it in the Sephora sale. It's just that good. Okay, next up we have this one from Pat McGrath. This is the Skin Fetish Sublime Perfection Foundation. I have the shade Light Medium 8. It's actually a good shade match. I don't like it. I don't like this foundation. I know some people swear by it. Maybe it's because I like more full coverage, but this foundation doesn't last on me. It breaks down. I just don't like it. So it looks good at first, but it doesn't last. So I wore this. I remember I had packed my makeup for a cruise and I wore this. I put this on before we left, but I left it at home, and within like 3 hours, my makeup looked awful. It was just, and I couldn't touch up my makeup because our suitcases hadn't gotten back to our stateroom yet. And I hated it. So I am going to declutter it. I know some people swear by it. I just don't like it. Okay, next we have this one from Patrick Ta. This is the Major Skin Hydra Luxe Luminous Skin Perfecting Foundation. My God, what a name. I love this. This is 50 neutral. This is amazing. It's luxe. It's gorgeous. I don't have a lot of Patrick Ta products. I just love this. It's just gorgeous. It's just a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful foundation. It is, I can't say enough about it. I did a whole video on it. You can watch it, but definitely keeping it. It's just, I want to be able to use it more, and hopefully with, you know, a smaller collection, I'll be able to, but I do really like this foundation. Okay, next up we have these from Pure. This is the 4-in-1 Love Your Selfie Longwear Foundation. I have two shades because it's a foundation and a concealer. So I have LN4 and MN3. MN3 is the shade that I really like and I love. I use this like there's nothing left. It's gone. I am going to just trash them. I use this. I could probably get a little bit more left. This is a fantastic foundation. I have a little bit more in here left, but this is too light. I would wear these together, but I would use this more as the foundation. I mean, as far as a concealer, this is really good. This was on sale during the 21 Days of Beauty. It was 50% off. I highly recommended it. I was tempted to get another because I do like it so much, and I knew that this one was pretty much empty. However, given the amount of foundations I have, I want to use what I have before I buy anything else. So I didn't. I resisted, but I do highly recommend it. But these are going in the trash because they're pretty much empty. Okay, now I have these four from Rose Inc. They are still in their boxes. Obviously, that means they are unused. They are the Luminous Tinted Serum and the Soft Light Skin Smoothing Liquid Foundation. I have the shades 30 and 50 and then 8N and 9W. I am going to donate these. Rose Inc. is going through, I think, a structural change. They were sold, and Rose Huntley, whatever her name was, is now left the brand. She was the founder, so she has left the brand. They're no longer available at Sephora. You can get them at their website, but you can't get them at Sephora. So I don't know what's going on with the brand. But I never got around to doing videos for these, and since they're brand new, I can donate them. So that's what I'm going to do. And especially since I don't know if this brand is going to be around for a long time, I'd rather get this foundations and tinted serums to good use. Okay, now we have Sephora collection. So let's talk about these four right here. So these are the Perfection Mist Airbrush Foundation. Unfortunately, they discontinued these. These were actually really good, and I actually picked them up in more shades because I wanted to really kind of play around with them. And I picked them up in more shades during the last Sephora sale, and they have since been discontinued. So I am just going to declutter all of them. I have the other two brands, plus I have the Dior Air Flash. So I'm going to declutter. Two of them are not even open yet. So I am just going to declutter all four because they have been discontinued. Then we have this one. This is the Best Skin Ever foundation. I have the shade 20N. I did a video on it. It's a good foundation. It is a good foundation. You know, I think it's like 20 bucks normally. During the Sephora sale, all the Sephora collection is 30% off. I would only get this during like the Sephora sale, to be honest. I think it's good, but you know, get it, you know it's going to be 30% off. It's usually on sale at least twice a year, but maybe even more. It's a good foundation. It's not my favorite, so I am going to declutter it. But I think if you're, you know, something, it's a solid foundation. So, but I am going to declutter it. And then they have this new skin tint, and this is the Reveal the Real skin tint. This is really nice skin tint, really nice skin tint, and I was really thinking about it, going through my skin tints of whether or not I should keep it. And this is in the shade, and I meant to do a video on it and I just never got around to it. It's been out for a little bit. This is the shade 130 Fair. I am going to declutter it because I'm keeping only 5 skin tints because I just don't wear many skin tints, and this one's just not making the cut, but it is very good. And again, so if you are interested in a skin tint, look at this one, especially during the Sephora sale, because I do think it's a solid one. Okay, moving on now to Smashbox. We have 4 from Smashbox. Okay, so I have, this one, and I have the Halo. So, okay, so let's talk about the Studio Skin. This was a really good foundation, but it has since been discontinued. I had the shade 2.12. It was a good foundation, but it's just since been discontinued, so I am going to declutter this one. Then we have the Healthy Glow All-in-One Tinted Moisturizer. This was okay. This was an okay. I liked it. I didn't love it. And again, this does have an SPF, so that was good. But it was just, there's other ones that I reach for if I want that. So I am going to declutter this one. And then we have the Always On foundation, the Skin Balancing Foundation. I had 2 shades. I had L10N and L20N. L10, this is the problem. L10N was too light. L20N was too dark. And I had to mix them, which is fine, but that prevented me from always reaching for this. L20 works really good when I have a spray tan or some color, but that's not as often. And I'm not going to travel, and that's usually when I'm on vacation, and I'm not going to travel with 2 foundations to get the perfect shade. So with that said, I do really like this foundation, but because I can't find a good match, I'm just going to declutter both of them, because what I find is that even though I like it, I have other things that I can use. So maybe if they expand the shade range, I will get another foundation, but for right now, I am going to declutter both of these. Okay, next up is the Supergoo Protectant Daily SPF Tint, SPF 50. I have the shade 24N. This is fabulous. I absolutely love this. This is a really great, SPF, skin tint with SPF. I love Supergoo. It just gives really great, nice sheer coverage. Love it. Not too shiny. It just works great. So yeah, absolutely keeping this. This one's brand new. It's a brand new formula. I absolutely love this, and I highly, highly, highly recommend it. Okay, this is Suku. This is a Japanese brand. I can't remember. This is the Extra Rich Glow Cream Foundation. This was recommended to me by a friend that's a makeup artist. It's fabulous. They just discontinued it, and it's not cheap. It's like 80 bucks. I used quite a bit of it, and then it kind of got sat at the back of my drawer, and then I haven't been using it. And then I went to look when I was preparing for this, I realized it was discontinued. So I am going to declutter it. It's a beautiful foundation. I think because it's in a jar though, I just didn't reach for it as often. It was just kind of sat in the back of my drawer. So I am going to go ahead and declutter this. It's great, and this Japanese foundations are great. So maybe if it becomes readily available, I know it got replaced with a different formula. Maybe I'll try that. But again, it's hard to get to, so maybe not. Okay, and now we're going to talk about Summer Fridays. This is the sheer skin tint from Summer Fridays. And this was a favorite for a long time. I actually really liked it. And then again, with everything, I just stopped using it. And yeah, I'm trying to, do I keep it or not? This is in the shade 2. I really like this, but I'm going to declutter it because again, I haven't used it in a while. And I have to be realistic of what I'm going to use. So I am going to declutter this one from Summer Fridays. Okay, next up we have from Tarte. I have 6 from Tarte, so let me pull them all out. Some of them are minis, which I like using minis if they have it. That way you can see if you like it. Okay, so I have a bunch. So let's start with the Face Tape. So this is the Face Tape foundation. This is a really nice foundation. I have the shade 27S. It is the light medium sand. I actually really like this one. It's a good one. But you know what? I haven't reached for this in a while, and I don't think this is the best shade. I think I need a neutral. And even though this is a mini, I'm gonna declutter it. I'm gonna declutter that one. Shape Tape Cloud Coverage. This is like a kind of a light. This is I have 222N, and this one's not bad. This one's actually pretty nice. It's a nice light coverage, but this shade is too light for me. So I am going to declutter this one as well. And then this is the Maricusa Juicy Glow. This is 28 N light medium neutral. This is actually a great shade for me, but I hate it. It's so glowy. This is like a little sample, and I was glad I was able to try this because this is just a little sample that I got in like from Sephora, and it's super duper glowy. I don't like it at all, so I am going to declutter this. And then we had the Found Sealer Multitasking Foundation. I don't remember this one, to be honest. This is in the shade 27N. This is definitely a better shade match. I really don't remember this one. I'm going to keep this one for now. I'm going to keep this one because I think I'm going to get rid of everything else. So I am going to keep that one for now because I want to keep something from Tarte, and I think I'm going to keep that one. Okay, and then we have this Amazonian Clay. This is 26N. This is awful. I hated it. It's full coverage. It's 16 hour. It's awful. I hate it. Don't get it. I can't. Like, it's just way too, I hate it. Unless you have oily skin, maybe you'll like it, but I hated it. And then this is the Hydroflex, like skin, it's a serum foundation, but it's basically a skin tint. I really liked this for a long time, and I was wearing this all the time. And then as more skin tints came to me, I kind of stopped wearing it, but it's a really beautiful, I did look, and it looks like it is still available. It is maybe not available as readily, but I am going to declutter it because I haven't used it in a while. But it is a really beautiful, I mean, it's not too glowy. It's really pretty. Kind of debating it now, but yeah, I am going to get rid of this one. Okay, after further thinking, I am going to declutter this. So I'm actually decluttering all of my Tarte foundations. Next up, we have this one from Turtur. This is the Viral Mask Fit Red Cushion. I actually just got this. I had gotten one before, and it was too light for me, so I returned it. And then this went on sale during the most recent October Prime Day sale, and it was $15. So this is the shade 25N. I really want to try this because a lot of people really do like it. So let's see. So I'm hoping that I like it. I did get it on Amazon, so if I don't like it, I can return it, but I'm hoping. So I am going to keep this one for now, hoping that it works for me. Okay, next up we have 2 from Tom Ford. So I have the Shade and Illuminate Soft Radiance Foundation. This is in the shade 33.7 Champagne. This is a really nice foundation, but it's like $150. And it looks great, and I really do like it. But because it was $150, now I got it at the company, cosmetic company store, so I didn't pay that. But I find myself not reaching for it. And I don't think it's like worth $150 to be honest. So I am going to declutter it because I just, honestly, I don't really use it that often. So I am going to declutter it. I really just need to get my foundations down to a reasonable amount. So I'm decluttering that one. And then there's this. This is the Tom Ford Shade and Illuminate Soft Radiant Cushion Compact. So this was I never opened it. I got it and I never opened it. So I am going to declutter this one because it's brand new, and I am going to declutter this one and donate it. And again, this one was like 150, but this one they no longer make. So this one's been discontinued. So they no longer make this. So I'm going to get rid of both Tom Ford foundations. Okay, next up we have Too Faced. This is the Born This Way Undetectable Medium to Full Coverage Foundation. This is in the shade Seashell. This shade is just, it's too light for me. So I did like this foundation. I do like it. This shade is just way too light for me, and I tried to make it work. I couldn't. So I am going to declutter it. Okay, next up we have 4 from Uoma Beauty. So we have 2 from Uoma Beauty, and then 2 from Uoma Beauty by Sharon C, which was their more affordable. It was originally available only at Walmart, then it was available at CVS. And I know it was sold last year, and I haven't been using it. I really loved this foundation, but I haven't used it because they don't have it anymore. So it's a shame because I thought the brand was really great, but I am going to declutter all 4 of these. Okay, next up we have 3 from Urban Decay. So I have 2 of the new Face Bond foundation. I have the shades 10 Light Neutral and 12 Light Neutral. I actually thought 10 was my shade, and then they sent me 12, and I just did a video, and actually 12 is a better match. So I am going to declutter 10 because 12 is a better match. I think this is great. I really like this foundation. I think it's really good. Works, wears really well, kind of self-setting, waterproof. So it's not my favorite right yet, but I do like it. So I am going to keep the 12. And then this is the Hydromaniac. I love this. It's like a tinted glow hydrator. I use this a lot. I have the shade 41 Light Medium. I love this, and I was using it, and I think I used a tire one, and then this was like a second bottle that I bought. It was one time included in the 21 Days of Beauty. It hasn't been included since. I love it. It was good. However, I haven't used it in a while, and it was one of those that gave really good coverage. I'm debating. I kind of know which ones I'm keeping as far as my tinted moisturizers, and this is not in my list. I'm debating it, but right now I'm going to put it in my declutter. I may change my mind, but right now I am probably decluttering it and only keeping the Face Bond. Okay, then we have this one from Win Beauty. This is a hydrating skin balancing tint. This is SPF 30. I have the shade Drive. This I love. I love this skin tint. I am keeping this one. This is Serena Williams' brand. This is a beautiful skin tint. It self-sets. I do use a powder, but it self-sets. It's got an SPF in it. Looks great. Wears really well. It's kind of made to like for the athlete, but I really like it. It's a really good skin tint with SPF, and this was one of my favorite products from the Win Beauty line. Okay, and next up I have these 2 samples, and I'm counting this as one. This is the Super Serum Silk Foundation from Yensa. Everyone swore by this. I got these 2 samples, and I think it's just okay. I didn't really love it. They're okay. I'm going to declutter these. I had a couple people swear by it and said, oh, it's so good, it's so good. And then I just didn't really like it. So it's just, I think, a personal preference, but this just wasn't for me. Okay, so here are the foundations I am keeping. There's 38 here. Actually, there's 37 because I didn't put the air flash that I have in the box, but there's 30, so I'm keeping 38. It sounds like a lot, and it is, but I'm actually pretty happy with that. Some of them are these airbrushes that, kind of don't really count. I mean, they do, I'm keeping them. So, but I'm really happy because while I am keeping 38, which is still a lot, I am getting rid of 88 foundations. I mean, 88. Now, some of them were mini sizes or, you know, deluxe samples, but 88 foundations is a lot, and I'm very, very happy. This is much more manageable, and hopefully I will be able to manage this, and I might even declutter some of these a little bit more as I, you know, the KVD I decided to keep, but I'm unsure about that one. I may eventually declutter it. And then some of these, like these two, when I use them up, I'm just going to throw them away. I'm not going to keep them. I'm not going to repurchase them. But some of these are like tried and true. Airbrush Flawless Filter, I love. So I'm really happy with this collection. Happy that I, you know, came down to 5 skin tints, which was good for me. And I'm really happy with this. So I'm not going to put the ones that I'm decluttering because they're all kind of in a box. And actually some of them are even already threw them in the trash, but I'm very, very happy with this declutter. I mean, it's like maybe I reduced it to 80%. It's a lot. So very, very happy with this. So hopefully I will be working on another declutter in the near future. I only have a few things left, and the next thing I know I have single eyeshadows and then eyeshadow palettes. And when I do eyeshadow palettes, I will be doing a giveaway, and it will kind of, you know, all details will be in that giveaway. But when I do the eyeshadow palette declutter, there will be a giveaway in that one. So thank you so much for staying. This was probably a very long one. I appreciate it. And if you like this video, click like, click and subscribe. That way you get a notification every time I post a new video. Bye everyone.